Okay, we are following two late-breaking news stories on the Gulf oil catastrophe. Number one, the Senate may be moving to overturn the Jones Act that is preventing foreign flagships from helping the Gulf cleanup. And number two, in a major story, a federal judge in Louisiana might conceivably overturn Obama's job-killing drilling moratorium as early as tomorrow, believe it or not. So let's talk to Mississippi Republican Senator Roger Wicker. Mr. Wicker, thank you very much for your time. Let me just ask you first on the Jones Act. Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison has proposed a bill, you may be on the bill, that would overturn that act. There are at least 15 countries who want to put ships and other equipment to help us. And I guess this chap, let's see, a banker, Dallas banker Fred McAllister, he's got 12 ships he wants to put in right now, and he can't do it. Senator, can you help us with this? Can this thing be overturned?
Well, I think the quicker thing would be if the administration would do as administrations have done in the past and simply waive the Jones Act. We don't need to overturn it or repeal it. There are a lot of us on the coast who actually support the Jones Act. But it's easily waived in this situation. And we talked to Secretary Salazar about that last week, and he said it's really not necessary as long as the ships stay 3 miles away from the shore. I think he ought to waive the Jones Act, get those ships in. This is one of the ways the administration really has failed us in not getting the skimmers, not getting the barges over there as soon as possible. Senator
Wicker, is there bipartisan support for this bill? I mean, one would think there would be, but I don't know. I ask you, sir.
I would think an outright repeal of the Jones Act would have a very hard time even getting a majority. I think the better thing would be for the administration to waive it, or for us to pass legislation providing that it be waived in this emergency situation.
Well, so maritime,
long term, I think the Jones Act is here to stay.
Maritime unions and other unions then have a stranglehold impeding and impairing the Gulf cleanup. I mean, that's what
the point is the Jones Act has its advocates, and actually I'm quite comfortable with it long term, but it needs to be waived in this emergency situation, and it can be done with the signature of one cabinet official, and we don't need to go through a lot of hoops in both houses and filibusters and conference committees.
All right, Senator, let me go on to the possible overturning of the drilling moratorium, which will cost at least 10,000 to 15,000 jobs directly, maybe more from a multiplier effect.
Right.
Look at Governor Bobby Jindal and his state attorney general, Buddy Caldwell, that's his name. Now, they have made a lawsuit, and you've got U.S. District Judge Martin Feldman. Now, he's residing in Louisiana. He is a federal district judge. He is going to report tomorrow, quite possibly, on a decision to stop, to put a stay on the moratorium. And I want to read you, I just want to get your quote, because I was reading this fascinating thing. He is asking Justice Department people, all right, he's grilling Justice Department. He says, look, if you have, would the entire railroad industry be stopped while the government looks at all railroad crossings following a fatal train accident? Now, that kind of question leads me to believe he's going to overturn this moratorium. What do you think, sir?
Well, it's the kind of difficult question that judges are supposed to ask both sides. But this is a senior judge. He's been in office in that position since Reagan. And I think he's got basically two questions. Number one, does the Interior Department have the authority to do this under the law? And number two, even if they do, is this an arbitrary decision? Is there any basis for it? And I expect he's going to go a long way tomorrow, or by noon Wednesday is what I heard, in answering the question, was did the Department of Interior sort of amend or falsify some expert reports that they received about the necessity for this moratorium at all?
Well, what Jindal is saying, Governor Jindal and his Attorney General, is they're saying that the federal regulators, you should stop this moratorium, which is so devastating. I mean, in some sense, it's about jobs as well as the cleanup disaster, but also let them come on the rigs. That's what these guys don't want to do. The regulators don't want to come on the rigs. And the panel in the Interior Department never recommended a 6-month moratorium. They were falsely quoted by the Obama White House. They never recommended that. Yes. This is a political decision, isn't it?
Well, Carol Browner got into that today and denied that, but I think you're right. I think you have the right facts. The report was amended and changed and did not exactly reflect the recommendation. You're right. This is 14,000 jobs short term. And I'll tell you, if it goes longer than that, the equipment will be gone. It goes to Venezuela. It goes to Brazil. We'll never get it back. And some of those jobs will be years coming back to America if this happens. Right.
According to reports, Brazil has planned 60 deep water rigs in the next few years. 60. And let me ask you this. Look, I'm a drill guy. Drill all the above. All right? Conventional fuels and unconventional fuels. Why is this White House stopping? The Chukchi Sea area, $83 billion, 83 billion barrels, 83 billion barrels of undeveloped reserves. They're preventing that. And finally, in the Wyoming area, the shale up there in the Green River, 1.5 trillion potential barrels, right. Senator. Why are we stopping this? We are shooting ourselves in the foot, the knee, and the head.
I think it's a political agenda. The federal judge could do the Obama administration a great favor tomorrow. Give us the jobs back, and they'd have the political cover for their environmental friends.
Senator Wicker, we appreciate your time very much, sir. Thanks
Thank you
so much. I'll be right back.